A 6-ton rock somehow traveled more than 400 miles across Britain and ended up at Stonehenge. Stonehenge's altar stone originated in northeast Scotland. Scientists were able to narrow down its source by analyzing mineral grains inside the stone and comparing that geological fingerprint with rocks elsewhere in Britain. The match points north, at least roughly 466 miles from where the stone eventually ended up. And despite us calling it the altar stone, we don't even know if that was actually an altar. The name came thousands of years later. Knowing where the stone came from almost makes the mystery worse, because now you have to account for the journey. This is prehistoric Britain. Moving 6 tons that kind of distance isn't simply a matter of finding enough people to push. You've got hundreds of miles of terrain between northeast Scotland and southern England, and researchers still don't know exactly what route was taken or exactly how the people responsible managed it. Overland routes and maritime travel have also been considered, but we have the stone sitting at the destination. The hundreds of miles in between disappeared with the people who moved it. But apparently the stone wasn't the only thing making ridiculous journeys towards Stonehenge. About 2 miles away is Durrington Walls, a huge Neolithic settlement associated with the people gathering, living, and feasting around Stonehenge. Archaeologists have recovered more than 38,000 animal bones there, representing at least around 1,000 animals. Roughly 90% of the identified remains were pigs. And teeth remember where an animal grew up. Scientists analyze isotopes preserved in those teeth, chemical signatures influenced by the environments where the pigs were raised. The results showed that those animals weren't all being raised around Stonehenge. Some came from completely different parts of Britain, with some signatures potentially consistent with origins hundreds of miles away. And they probably weren't hauling packages of pork across Britain. Evidence suggests they brought the pigs alive. That changes the journey completely. Pigs are notoriously difficult animals to move over long distances. You're dealing with a living animal that has to make the journey with you, and depending on where people were coming from, that could have meant enormous stretches over land, waterways, maritime travel, or some combination of them. We can't reconstruct the route taken by an individual pig, but we know where some of them grew up, and we know where their bones ended up. What makes it even stranger is the local pigs were available. People didn't need to transport an animal hundreds of miles simply because Stonehenge had ran out of pork. So apparently, for at least some of these people, bringing a pig from home was worth the trouble. Archaeology can tell us an incredible amount of where these animals were raised. Unfortunately, it cannot tell us whether Stonehenge had a preferred supplier. Hey, Gareth runs a Neolithic premium heritage pork brand. If I'm not mistaken, Gareth's pigs are single strain, connected ancestrally, raised on the most organic grain. Bro, just place the fucking order. It's 300 this time, not 200. And no, we don't want samples of the duck. It doesn't hold well in travel. The guests are going to be here in 4 months. We have no time for error, Terrell. Okay, there probably wasn't a Gareth or a Terrell, but those guests may not be entirely fictional. Durrington Walls appears to have been a gathering place on an enormous scale. The animal remains show evidence of huge communal feasts, with many pigs apparently slaughtered around the same season, particularly around midwinter. Pork and beef were being cooked and consumed in enormous quantities, and some discarded bones still had enough meat attached to suggest these people weren't desperately stretching every animal as far as it could go. There was food to spare. One explanation researchers have proposed for those long-distance pigs is that the people attending these gatherings may have been expected to contribute an animal they had raised themselves. And suddenly, hauling your own pig across Britain makes a little bit more sense. Maybe the important thing wasn't simply supplying enough meat. Perhaps where the animal came from, or who brought it, mattered. We can't take that farther than the evidence shows. We don't know that every pig was brought for the same reason. We don't know that every animal fed somebody building Stonehenge. Durrington Walls was connected with the people building and using the monument, but these gatherings also involve feasting and ceremony, and archaeology can't tell us exactly what every person was doing there. What it can do is put the people back into the landscape, because Stonehenge usually reaches us empty. It's a circle of enormous stones standing alone in a field. We talk about how heavy they are, how they got there, and what the monument might have been used for. But around 2500 BCE, this place wasn't empty. People were living nearby. People were gathering and eating together. Animals were arriving from distant parts of Britain. Some people were apparently bringing pigs they'd spent an extraordinary amount of effort transporting. And at least one enormous stone had somehow made a journey of more than 450 miles from Scotland. We still don't completely understand what Stonehenge meant to the people who built it and used it, but when people and animals are traveling across Britain, and somebody manages to move 6 tons of Scotland all the way down there, whatever was happening at Stonehenge, they thought it was worth the fucking trip. Boom, another one done. My name is Chris, thanks for hanging out. Let's do this again. Go ahead and comment, like, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.